Good morning, everyone. Alex and Mackenzie here. Yes, my little sister is visiting. We just spent a couple days in Germany and now we just are getting to Alsace, France. We're staying in Chateau de Pourtalès, a little bit outside of Strasbourg. We just woke up. We're excited to show you guys the hotel and tell you a little bit about our experience staying here. So when you're here during the day, not all, but a lot of the rooms downstairs are open for you to wander around. This building is part of a university, so there are some offices and kind of like dorm rooms that are closed off to people staying in the hotel. But other than that, we have free reign of the downstairs and it's really pretty. So let's go check it out. Yeah. We spent the next 30 minutes testing out each mirror on the main floor for optimum photo lighting and composition.
9 out of 10, it's a good full body.
I'll spare you that content and talk about something boring yet necessary: logistics. Château de Pourtales is located outside of Strasbourg. I think there is a way to reach it by public transportation, but driving there is definitely easier. The entrance to the chateau grounds are through this gate and down a narrow road. When we arrived on a Sunday afternoon, this road was full of people and it definitely felt like we should not be driving on it. There's a lot of parking available right behind the building, but the entrance to the hotel and lobby is at the front of the building. All right, let's get back to the interior and the spaces you have access to as a hotel guest. One of the main attractions is this gorgeous staircase. From there, you can enter the grand salon. It's like more of a ballroom with the beautiful murals and chandeliers. And they have a little piano facing the parking lot. The next room is a little bit smaller and has an attached china cabinet room with what I'm assuming are antiques from the chateau's past. Now, if we go back to the stairwell and go in the other direction, you'll see the Salon Rouge. If you keep going, you'll run into reception and the dining area. Let's go outside for a bit. As you can see around us, the chateau is located kind of in the middle of a big forest park area. There is more guest parking outside of the park. There is kind of like a sculpture art walk around the property, I'm pretty sure, as well as tennis courts over there. There's, I think, World War I bunker somewhere and some little pieces of artwork and towers like this scattered around the property. And it's really nice to walk around. The thing about it is that it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. So because the chateau is kind of in the middle of this forest, you have to drive to a lot of places. The closest restaurant that's open in March is about a 20-minute walk away. There is one right outside the gate of the entrance of the park, but it just looked like it was closed for the season. So that is the one downside. I thought that the hotel would have a restaurant, but it didn't. I was also expecting breakfast to not be so continental, but at least right now it was more of just like your normal meats and cheeses and things like that. It was still really good. I just thought that maybe we could get some scrambled eggs or something like that. That was wishful thinking on my part. I'll be honest with you, this was the third choice. This was the third choice of a hotel to stay in. There's some other chateaus and castles that looked really good too. I'll link those below as well, but they were unfortunately booked for the time that we were trying to book. So we chose this place and definitely still recommend it. It's really nice. Now let's go see more of the modern parts of the hotel grounds. The hotel has a series of other rooms, which include the spa area. You can get massages and there's a sauna and things like that. There's also a free tea bar and then a normal bar where you can get yourself a beverage, and it's kind of on the honor system, so you just pay for it when you check out. They opened up a lot of these newer buildings, I think in 2019. We'll double check on that. Yeah. They also have a little garden in the back for guests, and I think it's also used as a wedding venue sometimes. It's gotta be. Can't make this and not make it a wedding venue. Okay, heading to our room now. So finally, we're ready to show you our room at the Château de Pourtalès. So we booked the double room with 2 twin beds, and you'll see it's really big. We have an armoire with a safe in there. There's a mini fridge in here. We got some bottles of water, desk area. This door is locked, but according to the floor plan, it's just maybe like another room, so they can turn this into a family room or something like that. A good view of the front. We got a room in the main chateau, but there are also 48 rooms in the newer buildings next door. We have the double bed situation. And I thought the temperature was okay in here. It's March, we had heat, we had a little window cracked. All right, the bathroom's nothing crazy. I will say the water pressure was good, but it's an old building and the pipes make a lot of noise, which sounded like people moving furniture above us. But it wasn't that big of a deal once we became not afraid of it anymore. The rooms also come with these binders with practical information, restaurant recommendations, and sculpture guides. I want to share a little bit more of the history for those who are interested. In the rooms, actually, they have this really handy binder with 3 pages of history in 3 different languages. I'll just go over some highlights of what I thought was interesting. The original building was a manor house built in the early 1700s, and in 1802 it was bought by another family who's part of the aristocracy. They had a lot of money, and they're the ones who expanded the chateau to all of its glory. 3 generations of that family lived here. They were known for hosting beautiful garden parties, having a lot of members of the royal court here, and musicians, philosophers, big names of the time. The most famous resident was Countess Melanie, and she was known for being beautiful and hosting really, really good garden parties, and she invited a lot of elite people to come here. Some of the people who visited here were King Ludwig of Bavaria, Goethe came here, a lot of other famous philosophers. They have it all in this binder right here. When she passed away in 1914, her daughter took over and continued to host all these parties and be very involved with society in the Strasbourg area. During World War II, the chateau was taken over by Germans as enemy territory and was used as housing for high-ranking officials. It was taken over by Allied forces, and then in 1939 it had new owners. I don't know if they wanted nothing to do with it, but they didn't do anything with it, and it kind of fell into disrepair. By the 70s, the chateau was in such disrepair that the city of Strasbourg actually had it scheduled to be demolished, but luckily a man named Dr. Walter Liebrecht bought it, and he used it to open the Schiller International University, and it became a place where students can come live and go to school here. So there's actually, I think there's 60 students who live here. I'm not sure if that's all year round, but they come here in rounds to kind of live in Europe and study here at the International University. And there's still teachers' offices and places where you can't really go in the chateau, and there's some students walking around, and some breakfast tables are reserved for them. But other than that, at least right now in March, we haven't really seen them, or it hasn't been anything crazy. Mackenzie and I did have the question of, is this place haunted? And that's something that we did not want to Google until after we had slept here. So this place does have sort of a past. In the War of 1870, or is called the French-German War in 1870, it was used as an army hospital. And then, of course, like Nazi occupation and some of the conflict that went on around this area. We don't know. Nothing happened to us, but I Googled it, and some former students and professors have said that the lights will flicker, there'll be cold spots, they'll feel like a presence in the room sometimes, and if we asked the hotel people, I think they would say it was Countess Melanie, and that's what the professor said too on his blog post. Oh, it's like a protective presence and things like that. And he also said that the students in the 80s or something would pull out Ouija boards and try to contact whoever was here, which I don't appreciate that, opening up that portal and that energy, so who knows. But we didn't feel anything like that, and I think some people have written TripAdvisor reviews like, oh, it's kind of creepy. I think if you go into it thinking, oh, it's just maybe the Countess, it won't be that big of a deal. That was the history of the building, and if you're interested, I will link some more resources below for you. Thanks everyone for watching our little review and video about staying at the Chateau de Pourtalès outside of Strasbourg. We really liked it, right? Mm-hmm. It was a really nice, beautiful place to stay. Super fun, like sister weekend vibes.
It's really romantic though, so it's probably better with a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whoever.
A partner.
Your boo thing.
Alright, we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching!